Hello. Welcome to Monday Night Motivation. My name is Emily Baker. I am the crazy flippin' mom. I am looking. Hello. Welcome. Sorry I'm late, but I made it, right? Let me fix my lighting a bit. Hello. Welcome to Monday night. I am late. My light is worse because I realized I needed to figure out the randomizer for my giveaway before I jumped on here. So it took me like an extra second to get the piece of the puzzle together. And I wanted to get it together. Hi, Leslie. Hello. Welcome. Are you rested? Probably not. I'm stoked for this one. I'm stoked. Thank you, Katrina, for being here. Hello, everybody. The second hook. Hello, Sophisticata on Poshmark. Hello there. Hey, guys. Hello. Welcome. Shopping with McLean's. Welcome to Monday night. We are doing Posh-Fest 2019. I have a giveaway. I was saying that's why I was late. Usually I am very punctual. But if you saw my stories, like very last minute, I had this urge to clean my vanity out. And I should not be talking about this, but I was cleaning out the vanity and then I realized I needed to figure out how I was going to do a download for the randomizer for my giveaway. So anyways, that's what I was working on. My husband already left for a trip, so he's gone. Usually he's my tech guy and he would figure that out for me, but he's not here. So I had to figure it out for myself, but I did. So what are we talking about tonight? Posh-Fest 2019. I have the brochure here. I have all the swag here. I'm excited about the details. My nails are killing me. I need to get them shortened immediately. So we're going to go over all the Posh details and I want to hear your questions. You guys saw just such a small snippet because I know people were messaging me and they were like, overwhelmed really with what they saw. And I was like trying to be like, yeah, you saw what you saw. Very small snippets of a much broader thing, and now people are sharing also their personal point of views, which is also another layer, whatever you want to say, the good, the bad. A reseller's passion who's on right now. I need to follow with the conversation. She says no, she has not rested. Hey, the lazy reseller, we had the best time together. Hey guys, thanks for joining tonight. We are talking about Posh-Fest 2019. Oh, what am I even saying? I don't even know. So, the Leslie is on a reseller's passion and she did an Instagram on her channel. Just did a 10-minute video of her view, and I really appreciated that, and I'm really glad I didn't do a video last night or this morning, and I'm glad I took the day to think about it, because listening to everybody's points of view, good, bad, and ugly, I think also gave me some good perspective on the weekend and changed my mind even a little bit. And I was messaging somebody who had a different point of view of me on the panels, and I messaged them and I was like, I really appreciate your point of view, because I appreciate other people's point of view, and it changed my outlook even on the weekend. So let's get into all the details. I'm going to tell you just a overview of everything that happened, and then what I thought about everything. Was it worth it? The cost, the details, and then the tea, the questions you have, what you're seeing. I know you probably have questions like, did this happen? Who did you see? I know you're probably hearing drama surrounding this. Honestly, though, I posted about if you're hearing drama, and here's the thing, I think there's drama happening because I see people saying about drama, and I don't actually know the drama, the tea of the tea that's happening. I think because I have so much freaking laundry to do, I just can't keep up on everything, guys. My husband's on a road trip, not on a road trip in a good way, he's working. My kids are sick. I have just too much going on here. If you have enough time to create drama in your life, I almost envy you at this moment in my life. But that was the only thing I wanted to say, because I do know people who are so compassionate, so empathetic, so soft-hearted that when they get on and they see the drama, they absorb that and they let that change their perspective. And I wanted to be like, don't do that. Don't let that affect your view of this trip. Don't let that change your view. Don't take that and like make it your drama. Like, you don't have to do that. You can still have a good time even if people are like, you shouldn't be having a good time and this happened and blah blah blah. So that's all I had to say about that. But I actually don't know any like juicy drama. I mean, I kind of do, but you know what I'm saying. Hello, Mr. Mom Vlog. Were you at Posh-Fest 2019? Here's what I was not expecting, guys. Turquoise, Texas. So crazy thing is, Turquoise, Texas and we did like a month-long consultation with her like a year ago, I want to say. We connected again at Posh-Fest this year, and I was a consultant too. This is so crazy. I can't even make this up. I was a consultant, one of like, I don't know, 30? I don't know. There were so many people waiting outside the door for them to come in and like go through the whole process. Do you know who they brought me? First person they brought me, Turquoise, Texas. They brought me her, and I was like shook. We didn't get to pick. Hey, Sydney. Her and she's from Nebraska. We went together. We didn't get to pick who we got. That was so amazing that happened. And I think it was like such a God thing that we connected. I hope it was so inspiring for you. Like, I just totally believe next year is going to be such a dynamite year for you. Like, in my heart, I just know it. I just see in my head Turquoise, Texas branding so huge. Anyways, I can't even say that enough. Hey, a British Posher. Hey, guys. Thanks for joining. Your flight is taking off. Can we not watch live on a desktop? Oh, no. Okay, so we need to start. I don't know any drama either because I have so much laundry to do. Right? So we have like so much laundry to do. You get on and I feel like during the day I'm like getting on and off Instagram and I'm like, what's happening? What's happening in the world? It's flu season. My son is, so I have 2 sick kids. I got home. My house was like basically not on fire. So that's good. But I do have, I couldn't believe it either, girl, that you walked in. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. I brought my pamphlet because I wanted to tell you, I didn't want to forget anything. My heart is too full to receive drama. Yes, so is mine. So what happened was Thursday night we got in and there was several Posh and Sips happening that night. And I keep saying, this is ridiculous. I keep even saying the wrong town. My brain is fried. We went to the one that was hosted at the Hyatt. Was it at the Hyatt? At the hotel. Poshmark was there. Manish was there. There was lots of people there. We landed. We were late. So we went to a Posh and Sip. The next day, Posh-Fest started, and it was basically an 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. event. And they had like their main stage. It was a great breakfast. Everybody was together. And I have the booklet here because I honestly don't want to forget. And I know you guys are like, does this matter? I don't know. But they had their first panel, which was part-time Poshers. Lori, who's on here, the lazy reseller, she was on there. This was actually such a phenomenal first panel. I loved this panel, actually. The first panel of the day, if you can go back and watch it. Great. So everybody was together, and then there was a couple panels together, and then they had lunch, and then they did like breakout sessions, and it was quick. And I'm actually glad. I want to save my opinion for the end. Okay. So they had like popcorn. It seemed so quick. I don't know if it was 30 minutes. So maybe it was quicker than this. Maybe it was longer than that. I don't even know. It seemed to go so fast. But then they had breakout sessions all afternoon. You could jump in and they were panels. Some were Q&A. There were pamphlets in some. They were interactive. And they were about lots of different things. And I'm trying to figure this out. So face-to-face with the Poshmark executive team was one. The best practices when starting your business on Poshmark. connect with consumers, a guide to Posh markets, content strategies, how to break into the booming world of YouTube, taking your relationship beyond the app, inventory process for the pros, building your personal brand, act like a boss beyond business basics. So those were the breakouts, and then everybody got back together. Hey guys, if you're just joining, I'm going through the pamphlet in the most, boring way. But I just wanted to, like what I told you, tell you what happened at Posh-Fest before I give you my own personal, what I thought about it. Because honestly, I also saw people just like, it was so lame. And like, there was actually a lot of crap that happened, guys. So they actually, this is a book, and there was also an app. There was a lot of stuff that happened. And I went to a lot of it. I sat through a lot of these panels. So that was actually day one. And then people came back together. More stuff happened. And day two was basically the same. We all came together for a fantastic breakfast. My mom just sent me a request to be in this live video. We were all sitting together, breakout sessions in the afternoon, a fantastic lunch. Then that night, there was a giant party. Okay, so that's it. And there was an app to go with it, so it moved around a lot. There were 1,600 people here. That last year there was 800 people, so a huge difference. Let her join. Guys, the world, Instagram is not ready for my mom to be on a live. So that's that. I want to hear your questions because I want to answer your questions while I'm talking about my own opinion and views of the weekend. I'm new, so I don't know anything. Okay, so I want to make sure I let her join. Okay, so that was the weekend. It was a Thursday night party. There was actually Posh and Sips. There was a men's Posh and Sip Friday. There was like 2 or 3 Posh and Sips that happened Friday night, and then the big party that happened Saturday night as well. And then these two full days. Okay, so top 3 tips you learned. Here is my personal thing. Here is what I thought. I thought it was exactly what I expected it to be. I came in with the expectations that Poshmark was bringing in 1,600 people. People came in from being on the app for 3 months to being on the app for 7 years. And how do you create content that everybody can come? And that's definitely such a hard thing to like figure out. And I think they actually did a really great job. If you listen to some of the panels that I read off, they created panels for people who were like, I don't know how to do inventory, or you know what, I want to talk about YouTube, or I'm trying to think, innovation through curiosity, and what's this one? That was the main stage. There was a live thrifting. So in my consultation, I only did 3, and they asked me to stay and do more, and I said no because I was exhausted. So I did 3. One was the lady who was on here. The other 2 had only been on the app for 2 months. And I don't know if that's normal or what. Those 2 ladies were local, but I feel like if you're creating an event and a lot of the people coming are on the 6-month, year and newer side, like you got to create content that people can understand and follow along with. So even though I think the content was very basic, very entry level, I think the speakers did a fantastic job with what they were given. They all were peers. There was nobody who came in that was like a content creator, like a huge speaker that they bring in. Everybody speaking at these events at the Posh-Fest are like on the app users, right? So they're not like bringing in a superstar, as you can see, and everybody did a really good job. And so, okay, actually before I watched other people's content, here's what I thought. I thought the content of the day was a little bit too dull. And then I was watching the content. I was watching people talk today that I really appreciate their point of view. And they were saying how there was such a diverse group of people, and I was actually remembering all the people I had talked to who were new, who were beginners, who were just very small closets. And I actually was appreciating more that Posh was creating something that was for such a wide range of people. And on top of that, I think what I actually was what my biggest takeaway was, I think the panels did a really good job, the speakers, because if I was a speaker, they didn't have a choice. Like, if I was asked to be on the stage, I probably wouldn't have a choice. What I was like, they would say, here's your topic. I hope my daughter doesn't come in. She's hacking tonight. So that's what I would say about the content part of it. It was all what you would expect. Poshmark is a social app, and you go to network. The networking was off the hook. That's why you go to this thing. It was amazing. You don't have to go with people at all. In fact, there were so many people I met who just came, who were like, I don't know anybody, and I was so terrified to come. And they had the time of their lives, and I think they had just as much fun. Sometimes I think you go with people. Honestly, I saw this happen, and I looked at people's stories, and the people who said they didn't have fun, it was because they were with a couple people and they just went back to the hotel because they were like, I'm too tired. But the people who went alone got in groups of people, and they went out and partied and had a great time connecting because they had to push themselves out of their comfort zone. So I'm just saying, just because you're alone doesn't mean you have to stay home. You can go, you will connect with people, and you may have a better time without a security blanket if you go alone, because you'll be forced to get out of your comfort zone. That's what I'll say. So just because you're like, I don't know anybody, you're going to make, as soon as you walk in the door, you're going to make connections. You walk in and there's posh people everywhere you go. I mean, you just connect. You walk up to somebody and you say, hey, you sit at a table, because you have to find a table full of people, and you start talking to somebody. It's very basic. Leslie just said, I went alone. And you probably didn't have 1 minute, more than 5 minutes where you weren't talking to somebody. Honestly, I went to the bathroom and you were like talking to people. It was dynamite. And actually, I went to the bathroom, and that's where I met Tracy, the co-founder of Poshmark, and the first female lawyer of Poshmark was in the bathroom too. And then I came out, and Manish was standing there, also a co-founder of Poshmark, very approachable. Those are the things that I wanted to I wanted to be like, oh my gosh, you created Poshmark, and here you are in the bathroom. Here you are just standing around. I can talk to you. I can shake your hands. And to hear those people tell their stories of how Poshmark, and I'm sure if you go to Posh-Fest next year, they'll tell the same stories, but to hear them share their stories, how far Poshmark has come. And this was such a huge year because it exploded. Like last year was 800 and this year was 1,600. That was so great. That's just crazy. And they have such a huge vision. So I'm sure next year will be just as huge. So I know I'm missing all the comments and questions because I didn't want to keep getting interrupted and lose my train of thought. Top 3 tips you learned. Oh my gosh, now I'd have to sit down and think. Top 3 tips I learned. Okay, I did sit in on the executive thing. I sat in on the executive. I was hoping they would talk more about Poshmark behind the scenes, and they ended up talking about their personal stories, and that's not really what I expected. Here's what I did. My favorite panel that I went to was the YouTube with Nicole State, and at the YouTube thing they also had a guy from YouTube, and I went to find his name, and I did the whole live because it was so good. But he was from YouTube, and they talked about everything YouTube, and she's so pretty much down to earth and very authentic, even in person. That was a really good one. My top 3 takeaways. I'm really blanking because my top 3 takeaways didn't actually have to do with the app or changing my business. And here's what I would just say to that is, you really don't go to Posh-Fest and you're learning something that's going to grow your business numbers. You go to PoshFest because you're going to network with people, you're going to connect with people, you're going to have a fresh perspective probably on your business, which is really, honestly, I told my husband last night and I should have gone to sleep, but I stayed awake, but I probably came home with one of the freshest perspectives on my business that I ever have had in my whole life, because I was able to talk to the people that are selling, talk to the people that are buying, talk to the people who are consuming my content, and that's never ever happened before. And if I talk about it too much, I'm actually going to cry because I keep crying about it. It was a very overwhelming feeling, though, to be in a room full of people like that, full of love for each other, like no judging, just want to have fun, just want to support each other. That was very just like camp, almost camp for women. That's why I would say you should go to this. It's the networking. It's wild. It's very wild. It's very supportive environment it's just 2 days. Also, if you ever want to go to like, I don't know, like something like this, a conference, a convention, usually tickets like this start around $500. I would imagine that Poshmark eats most of the expenses for this, because I have 6 people in my family. We ain't going nowhere for $200, right? Tickets are $200 a piece. And I got 4 meals. They provide breakfast and lunch both days, and then a huge party. I would imagine that they lose loads of money during this event. I don't know if Lori's still on, but she plans events too. And that's just a side note that they're like not making money. $200 for a ticket. And Leslie said this on her Insta channel too, is very cheap. They're basically providing a place for you to hear from your peers what they're doing. You will learn some different insights from people who are doing it. If you're new, you may like learn a lot of insights, but they're basically providing a place for you to network with people who are doing what you're doing. And what you'll learn is basically rubbing shoulders. Like a British Posher was there and she talked. Nicole State, the deal queen, the lazy reseller who was on here is huge on eBay. Daily Refinement was there. These people who you see on YouTube, who you can actually talk to them and say, hey, what are you doing? How are you selling? They're basically providing you a place to rub shoulders with these people. That's what they're providing you for $200. So that's a really good ticket price. My husband wanted to go to something because he loves like some YouTube guy, and it was $1,000 to get there just to get in the door. So don't complain. If they ever try to bring like a big speaker, I would imagine ticket prices go through the roof and people have something new to complain about, but that's that. What do you think about the hackathon reveals? I think they were, good. I always think people have such big expectations for everything in life except themselves. Right? Like people expect the world out of these things. They expect like a brand new app to be unveiled, and that's just like not realistic. I think they're good. The Posh Stories, I think, is a cute idea. Will I use it? Like probably twice, and then I'll never use it again. But the being able to put hidden things in your listings, that's great for me. Being able to have the inventory sheet, another amazing update. Like amazing update that will probably change how I do my inventory right now. Both of those things will probably change how I do my inventory depending. Once they come out, I need to figure it out, but those 2 things has the potential to change how I structure everything right now. So I did like that. But that's what I say. I think people always like expect crazy reveals, and it's like, what did you guys think about the reveals? That's what I want to hear. What did you guys think? Maybe what you saw, if you weren't there, what did you think of the event? That's what I would like to know. Was it worth it? Like 100,000%. Honestly, if I wasn't on the plane with people I knew, I would have cried the whole way home. And I'm not even kidding you. Not even kidding you. I did tear up on the way home because I was reading a Tyler Perry in a People magazine, and it just tugged at my heartstrings, and I did cry a bit. But I would have lost it. It was very emotional. in a year I'll like be able to talk about it more, but it gave me the freshest perspective on where I'm at in my future for the next 1 to 5 years. And I'm actually not even kidding you. I'm not kidding you. It was wild. You should go. You should go, because sometimes you just need to get out of your comfort zone, what you're used to, and you just need to like do something wild. And that's what this was for me. So if you didn't go and you just saw what you saw, you heard what you heard, I want to know what your thoughts were now. Do different panels go on at the same time? Yeah. So there's like 3 or 4 panels available in the afternoon, and there's 3, and then you can go to 3 and they rotate. So there's 3, and then you can like go to all of them or none of them. And some people just came for like lunch and the afternoon and left and went sourcing. Some people came and stayed the whole day. I stayed pretty much for everything. What do you think your favorite new feature will be? Definitely the inventory report. Right now I use Airtable. I have used Airtable for most of my reselling career, and that was the one that I was like, will I be using Airtable anymore? Will I need Airtable anymore? What is Posh Stories? So I don't know about all the details, but basically it's like Instagram for Poshmark, and you can tag your listings in a very basic way, not with all the thrills and whatever, but like you can do a boomerang. If I'm like hearing this right, you can like do more interactive features and tag your listings on Poshmark. So they want to bring video to Poshmark and bring your listings to life. The other thing they touched on really brief at the beginning that I keep forgetting, that's huge, is he said international shipping. And he said it like so brief. So if you're there, I don't know if Leslie's still on. He talked about in the future, Poshmark will be international. People can buy from you and you can sell anywhere in the world, which is crazy because I always thought they would keep like US in the US, Canada and Canada, everywhere. But their vision is that you can buy and sell anywhere, ship anywhere, that whole thing. That was my takeaway from that too. I am new to the chat. You don't need to know any drama. Less drama, right? Everybody did such a good job. And I think if I was on the panel too, I would be nervous, and you're just like given, here's what you're going to talk about, right? So you don't really have a say. And everybody, so when I was in, here's what I want to say. When I was in the YouTube panel, there was a woman there. So you have people like me already on the channel creating content. There was also a woman there, and Nicole State said, I don't like when people deactivate like the mid-roll commercials, because that's how I get paid. She raised her hand and asked a question. What is a mineral roll? So when you think about content for 1,600 people, and some people are asking questions, what's a mineral roll? And the YouTube thing, like, that is also very hard to create content for people who are coming with no concepts of what anything is. Somebody came to my consultation, and I don't even know how they got in, because I thought you had to be also, I don't exactly know what it is, a Posh ambassador to get a ticket, but they had like 30 active listings. And I thought you had to sell so much, but they were brand spanking new. So maybe they had sold 50 or whatever it is to be the Posh ambassador, but they were brand spanking new. So you think, and then the second one had only been on the app 3 months, I want to say. So many people are brand new. So I know the content was on the more basic side, but the meeting people and talking to them and saying, I went to dinner and we talked about all the stuff that you're like, oh, I want to know how you're doing everything and your taxes and blah, blah, blah. You go to dinner with those people, and that's where you talk about this stuff. There wasn't new. Okay, so great for new. Yes, it was so good. If you were a new reseller, I'm sure you were like, this is the best thing that's ever happened. Networking was amazing. Like, literally amazing. So if you've been reselling for years, yeah, you just met so many people though. And that's where you were just chatting and talking. And they made the bigger stage. You heard Posh stories, which were so inspirational. People who had overcome, like, not who were just making money to go to Starbucks. People who were like they were doing this to survive sort of things. There was all the angles. It was amazing. Hello, guys. I'm just reading through the stories. Loved. Oh, hi, Wild One Co. I just pulled out your business card. You should go next year. Okay, Leslie, you went alone and you had the best time. We partied. Amanda was great. Okay, we met everybody. Only knew my roommate from Instagram and had to force myself to meet people. So yeah, that's what I think. I think if you go alone, you'd have to like force yourself to meet people. And I actually saw somebody on Instagram and she said, I didn't love Posh-Fest because I didn't meet anybody because we just went back to the room. Like we didn't make ourselves meet anybody. And honestly, I met some girls there and they just like had the best time of their life because they went alone and they were like, well, I got to meet people. So here I am. What was your favorite part of Posh-Fest? My favorite part of Posh-Fest, honestly, the last party. Okay, so the Deuce, when we went, we were like, people thought the Posh party would be a glam event because I guess usually it is. And when we went, it was a huge warehouse. Some of it was inside. And people were a bit confused because the stories look like, number one, I think people were a little bit turned off by the girls who were twirling and dancing. And I was like, listen, they were like acrobats, like serious professionals. And there was hula hoops. There was hula hoops on the ground. And there was fire breathers. And then the guy with the saxophone. And there was places outside you could sit and play games and have talks. And there were tons of like taco trucks outside lined up. You could get in like photo booth style. There was a huge band inside and a DJ inside and like 5 open bars, and it was wild. And that was probably my favorite. I loved. I love to party. And I say that as somebody who does not drink, but I just love to like mingle and connect, and I love to dance, and I love music, and I just had the best time. And again, I'm exhausted, so if I talk too much, I'm going to cry about it. But I had the best time. And I sent my husband the 2 a.m. text. Oh my gosh, I just danced on a saxophone player. And it was midnight our time, but I was thinking, I wanted to send him all the videos, and I sent him that text, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's 2 a.m. back home. So the next day, I sent him the videos, and I called him, and I said, what did you think? And he said, like, I don't want to cry, but he said, honestly, you've been so worn out lately, and I'm going to cry. Like, I don't want to cry here. But he was like, you've just been so tired lately, and I'm glad you had the best time ever. So, I don't want to cry. I'm just tired. So, I think, like, as moms, we're just doing everything, right? Like, when do we just go and drink all the Shirley Temples and do the crazy things? Like, we think after we turn 30, we can't do those things anymore. And I think that's why you go to Posh-Fest, or that's why you do these type things. So if you're like, should I go? Yeah, you should go. And maybe it's not this. Maybe it's something else. Maybe you're like in a mom's group. You should go because you do deserve it. And I know people unfollowed me because I posted the video of me dancing, and people weren't happy because I dressed in a short romper. But I just needed to be like not a mom for a weekend. I needed to be a woman for a weekend again, you know? So if you're at home and you're like, I have not gotten out in so long, I've just been on like diaper duty, I've been on work duty, I don't know the last time I've even hung out with friends, you should go. It's not even that much, it's just 2 days, and it will like make your whole year. These are memories that you just don't forget. And these are friendships. It's honestly like camp. So I'm sorry if you don't like crying. I'm sorry if that made you uncomfortable. And I told you, like, I shouldn't talk about it because I'll start crying. But it really is amazing just to connect with people. It is like camp, because I left and I was like, I feel like I just left camp because I made so many new friends. Okay, I'm sorry I cried. Oh my gosh. Just like breathe through it. It's okay. Okay, Turquoise, Texas. The amazing thing about Poshmark and reselling is none of us, we're like, yes, we're not each other's competition. And I think some people are getting a lot more, like, I don't know. I don't want to get into any drama what's happening on Instagram, but I think when people have input to add, Poshmark is such a community love or oriented friendship. And when you take the love, that piece out of it, and you just, in a more critique way, start putting what you want to say out there, it comes off as harsh a lot of times. And I think that's why sometimes it's not appreciated in the community. And I think sometimes you hear people say the same thing other resellers are saying, but they have like such a tone of love, and it's received so much better, because honestly, everybody out there is saying like the same thing, and there are some people getting dragged right now because they just have like such a harsher tone in it. That's just my 2 cents, because I'm like, y'all are saying the same thing, but some people just aren't nice about it. They just like, they're just saying it in like, you know, the way they say it. Okay. I love the tech speaker in the sparkly dress. Oh my gosh. So at the last party, though, I'm not going to cry about this. All the tech, IT, and Manish were there, and they were definitely dancing. And I so wish I recorded it. It made my heart so happy. And if you don't go for anything else, you have to go next year so you can see Manish get down with the IT team. It was amazing. It was amazing, guys. You should go. Okay, so Leslie said they aren't making any money with the event. Yeah, so when you go and people are like complaining, I always say this because when people talk about like people say, we're paying so much for shipping, and Manish almost went to prison over the shipping, and it's always like taking your kids to Disney World and then they complain because they're like, this isn't fun. I feel like Manish is probably saying the same thing, and I'm sure Poshmark paid out the butt for this event, and then people go and they're like, this was so expensive, and they're like we didn't make any money at all. It's really not that expensive. So for me to get there, I said I would talk about expenses. I would anticipate, if you wanted to come next year, I don't know, if you're out there and you're listening, I don't even know where it's at, and you went, can you just shout out what you think people should be saving? I would imagine about $1,000 would be a great start for this event. It's a $200 ticket, right? I saved hotel points, and that kind of offset expenses. But you can also get in a group and find a group of women to offset the hotel expenses too. The other thing is, we didn't pay for a lot of food because breakfast and lunch both days are provided. So you're really only paying dinner for the evenings. We got a rental while we were there. And when we were there, we were like, we didn't need really to get a rental. So that was another thing that was like, we won't be doing next year. So there was lots of things, but I would imagine about $1,000. That's just my opinion. I don't even know where it's going to be. What do you guys think? Yeah. So there was like an open bar, if you're like wondering, and Serena Williams will probably be there next year. Katrina says, I used to work for a huge corporate IT. It was insanely expensive. Yeah, and the food alone, I was thinking, like, I have 4 kids, and we can't even, like, take them I can't even imagine $200, like, honestly. Yeah, Serena Williams, they mentioned they're hoping to, like, plan the event around her schedule so she can be there. The podcast convention would cost me $1,000. Yes, that my husband, so he was actually telling me that you could stream an event he wanted to go to, and it was 11 grand. Like, you could be a hub for the event and stream it, 11 grand. People out here. Did you go to the breakout on inventory? I did not do that one. Did they say when the inventory section and sheets? They said like a couple weeks. Everything was going to be happening very, very soon. I talked to the guy in the brown suit. He said they're going to try to include the hidden information. Yes. I like how you can link your items on the Posh Story feature. Was this? Yes, this was my first Posh-Fest. I will definitely be there next year, guys. I will definitely be there. Like, it was like, I don't want to, like, be crazy, but it was honestly, like, so, I have been a mom doing mom things, and this was, like, so powerful for me and just inspirational just for everything me personally, and just getting a break and being around other women, but also I create a lot of content on YouTube and Instagram, and that's a huge reason I went. So finding and creating content was a huge piece, right? And also being able to hear the effect of my content on people. I'm not gonna cry again, but just know I cried about it a lot. But you kind of just make stories and posts, and you're like, this is how I'm feeling, guys. And when people come up to you and they tell you, like, you've helped them and stuff, like, wow. Again, I'm gonna, like, keep it light and moving, otherwise I'm gonna cry, but it's powerful. Can you save this? I missed most of it. I'll download it and put it on YouTube. Let's see. It was amazing. I'll never break up with Airtable. Of course you won't, Ashley. I was thinking I was missing out being so new I couldn't afford it. Maybe next year. Yes, you should really just save, put some money aside every month and plan on going. My first year, Posh-Fest, 100% worth it. Like you said, the chance to rub shoulders, the networking, honestly. Everybody you want to meet will be there. And you can talk to them and say, hey, how are you growing your business? Let's go to dinner. I want to buy you a drink. Can I sit down and talk to you? And they're going to be like, yes, because 9 out of 10 of them are very nice. I didn't actually meet anybody who was rude to me. And I was kind of impressed by that, because sometimes you're nervous about meeting people. I just sold something on Poshmark and that thing came up. You're nervous about meeting people. This Instagram is going to be over soon, so it might go off. But you're nervous about meeting people in real life and thinking, what if they're just terrible? That actually didn't happen at all. So that's that. You should 100% go next year, because I would love to dance with you. Cry it out, girl. Yes. I'm not holding back. Oh, you guys are crying too, so that makes me feel good. I'm going to have to go back and read these comments, because I'm obviously, like, so far behind. Stop apologizing. Okay, now I feel better. Okay, 1,000 is good. So you guys are, like, already, I'm so far behind on the questions. Okay, so number 1, save money for Posh-Fest next year. You won't regret it. Number 2, you 100% deserve to go. It's 2 days and it won't kill your kids. You shouldn't feel any mom guilt. People were like, do you feel guilty to leave your kids? Heck to the no. I don't feel guilty of leaving my kids. They were fine without me. The house is still here and I'm back already. Like, I'm back before they knew it. You should go. I'll see you there. Thanks for joining this live wrap up. It was amazing. Yeah, happy Monday, guys. I love you. I'm sending love, happy, healthy vibes your way. Have a great week. If you missed this, it'll be over on YouTube later on. Mwah!